Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Money Boulevard. Are you just sick and tired of feeling as though you are just barely getting by each month and getting worried about how am I going to escape the paycheck to paycheck living style? Do you often find yourself worrying about money? Did you ever want to get a new car or phone and you felt like you'd be lost in saving up for it? I've got some good news for you, brother. You need to make a budget or budgeting plan for yourself, and the good news is that creating a budget doesn't have to be difficult. To be honest with you, budgeting can actually be a liberating and encouraging experience that I am certain it will help you in achieving all of your financial objectives and makes your buying decisions to be much more easier. Whether you are an adult or a kid with little or no experience, just with a little knowledge and preparation, this budgeting system will help you take control of your finances and build a better financial future for yourself, and maybe your family. In this video, I'm going to share some budgeting fundamentals with you today. I promise you, and I mean it when I say you won't want to miss this video. Before we get into the how, we have to the why. Let's talk about why budgeting is so important. Budgeting is the foundation of good financial management. When you have a budget, you can see exactly where your money is going, which means you can make more informed decisions about how to spend it. A budget also helps you avoid overspending, reduce debt, and increase your savings. In fact, studies have shown that people who budget are more likely to achieve their financial goals. Now I do get it. It might not sound like the most exciting thing in the world, but trust me, when you start to see your money grow and your debt shrink, it's a feeling like no other. And the best part, budgeting isn't just for the rich and famous, anyone can do it, no matter your income or financial situation. So buckle up and get ready to learn why budgeting is the foundation of good financial management, and how it can help you achieve your wildest financial dreams. Now, let's get into the fun part, how we're going to build the budget. The first thing we need to know is that a budget consists of two parts, the in and the out. This involves looking at your income and your expenses and figuring out how much money you have left over each month. To create a budget, you need to know your net income, which is your income after taxes and other deductions. Next, you need to list all your expenses, including fixed expenses like rent, mortgage, car payments, and insurance, and variable expenses like food, entertainment, and clothing. Once you have all your expenses listed, you can subtract them from your net income to get your discretionary income, which is the money you have left over after paying all your bills. When you're creating your budget, it's important to be realistic about your expenses. You don't want to underestimate your expenses and end up overspending, but you also don't want to overestimate them and end up living like you have no money. You should also prioritize your expenses and make sure you're allocating enough money to the things that are most important to you. Once you've created a budget, the next step is to track your expenses. This means keeping track of everything you spend money on, from your rent or mortgage payment to your daily coffee habit. There are many ways to track your expenses, including using a spreadsheet, a budgeting app, or simply keeping a notebook with you at all times. By tracking your expenses, you can see exactly where your money is going and identify areas where you might be able to cut back. For example, if you're spending $100 a month on coffee, you might decide to cut back and make coffee at home instead. In addition to tracking your expenses, you should also review your budget regularly to make sure you're staying on track. You should also make adjustments as needed. For example, if you get a raise at work, you might want to adjust your budget to allocate more money to savings or debt repayment. Another important aspect of budgeting is saving for emergencies. Emergencies can happen to anyone, and if you're not prepared, they can be a major financial setback. By setting aside a portion of your income each month for emergencies, you can make sure you are prepared for the unexpected. Financial experts recommend having at least 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses saved in an emergency fund. This fund should be kept in a separate account, like a savings account or a money market account, so that you're not tempted to use it for everyday expenses. Now let me give you some tips for effective budgeting. To the topics we've already covered, there are a few more tips and tricks you can use to make budgeting more effective. Here are a few. Use cash instead of credit cards. When you use cash, you can physically see how much money you're spending, which can make it easier to stay within your budget. Credit cards can be dangerous if you're not careful, because it's easy to overspend and accumulate debt. Automate your savings. One of the best ways to save money is to automate your savings. This means setting up automatic transfers from your checking account to your savings account each month. This way, you don't have to think about saving money, it just happens automatically. Look for ways to reduce your bills. There are many ways to reduce your monthly bills, like cutting cable or switching to a cheaper cell phone plan. Do some research and see where you can cut back. Set financial goals. Having financial goals can help motivate you to stick to your budget. Whether it's saving for a down payment on a house, paying off debt, or building up your emergency fund, having a specific goal in mind can make budgeting feel more meaningful. In summary, budgeting is a critical skill for anyone who wants to manage their money effectively. By creating a budget, tracking your expenses, and saving for emergencies, you can take control of your finances and achieve your financial goals. Remember, budgeting doesn't have to be restrictive or boring. With the right mindset and approach, it can be empowering and liberating. I hope this video has been helpful in getting you started on your budgeting journey. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more financial tips and tricks.